Hello and welcome back to Modern Spiritual Life with me, Amanda. It's wonderful to see you here again. Today's video, we're going to talk about the history of Reiki and the ways that Reiki has evolved over time. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. So, what is Reiki anyway? Reiki originated in Japan, and the word actually means universal life force. It is a kind of energy healing in which the practitioner acts as a conduit for universal energies to move through them while they hold an intention for you, the client, and impact you in the way that has been agreed upon that you feel you need most. The way Reiki came to us, there was a Buddhist monk by the name of Mikao Usui in Japan, and he climbed to the top of the mountain nearest him so that he could become closer to the divine creator, the divine universal energy. And by the time he came down, he had Reiki as a modality. And the way that I was taught, Master Usui was not the creator of Reiki. He did not discover Reiki. He did not invent it. He actually brought something back to humanity which we had previously had and lost. So that's the way that I was taught, was that he did not invent it, but he brought us back a lost art. In the very beginning, when Master Usui practiced Reiki, he had his clients lay on their back. He stood at the position at their head, and he held this position and held intention for them for the entire duration of the session, and that was it. He did not move, he did not chant, he didn't use tools, nothing. He used the power of his ability, his belief. He used the power of his mind. He used the power of his ability to meditate, to hold that intention and hold that space for the client and allow the energy to move through him into the client. That's it. That's all he did. Now, since the days of Master Usui, Reiki has changed quite a bit. Now, I can't speak with any degree of certainty, but my guess is the reason Reiki has changed is because the majority of people who practice Reiki are not Buddhist monks and do not spend huge portions of their lifetime training themselves to be able to meditate and hold space in the way that Master Usui was capable of doing. So I personally believe that we've developed all of the changes that have come to Reiki as a way for the average person to be able to adequately hold space and adequately hold the intention to have the same effect as Master Usui could just by holding the one position. So these days, with our whole melting pot of theologies and ideas and spiritual inputs, we've actually got something quite beautiful, I think, with Reiki these days. So Reiki actually, instead of holding one position at the head of the client's head, Reiki practitioners will move through the chakras, which is not a Japanese idea. That did not stem from Japanese culture. So there is this idea that there are different areas in a person's body which are energy vortexes and energy portals, and energy moves through those portals at different wavelengths and frequencies, and are responsible for a variety of different impacts on the soul as a whole. So the practitioner these days will move through the different chakras and work the energy on those individual chakras in order to achieve a better flow throughout the whole of the body. Another important note about Reiki is a non-touch therapy. Your practitioner does not touch you. It's not like massage. What the practitioner does is hold space for you. They maintain focus on the intention that you have agreed upon before the session, and they act as a conduit. So the Reiki practitioner even isn't in control of the energy that's moving, is not in any way actually influencing the whole process other than to hold that space for you and to allow for that energy to move through themselves. Anyone can do Reiki. Anyone can be trained to do Reiki. Reiki also these days has evolved to a point where there are now symbols which are employed to help bring a little bit more nuance of energy into the healing session. So there are 5 symbols that I'm aware of. Chokure, Seiheki, Raku, Hon Shaze Shonen, and Daikomayo. And I could be pronouncing those wrong, so please forgive me. The different symbols act in a way, as I understand it, quite similar to how sigils work. And the symbols are attuned to the practitioner. You can't just walk up and see a symbol and be able to use it. You have to be attuned to the energy of the symbol. And each symbol has its own meaning and its own intention behind it. So the practitioner can feel called to utilize a specific symbol to help bring a little extra nuance to the healing session. Hello, kitty. And lastly, the last kind of evolution of Reiki thus far is this idea, and it's mostly, I think, for the practitioner and the practitioner's kind of cultural values, is the idea of where the source of the healing energy comes from. So there is the traditional Japanese Reiki that holds that it comes from the environment around you and the healing energies of the environment around you. Then there is now a holy Reiki, which is a little bit more Christian based, and it's this idea that the Christian God and Christian guardian angels and holy spirits and ascended masters will ally with the practitioner and will actually do the healing for the client. And there is also a school of thought that holds to a style of Reiki that is now called shamanic Reiki. And I know that there's some mixed feelings about the use of the word shamanic, but the idea is shamanism based in that the practitioner believes in the sentience of all things, and that all things, whether man-made or natural, animate or inanimate, have their own spirit and can be called upon to be allies to assist in the healing of the client. And so that's all I'm going to say for this video. I hope that that kind of makes it a little bit clearer what Reiki is. It is a form of energy work where you have a client and a practitioner, and energy is allowed to move through the client and provide the client with healing that they feel that they require. Stay tuned for more videos which kind of break down a little bit more about what Reiki is and the kinds of tools that might be used for a Reiki session. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Oh, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll get better, I will. It's just gonna take some time. Bye.